Welcome back to the False Nine podcast. I'm joined once again by Charlie, Luke, and Connor. Um, just an emergency news last night that 12 football clubs have jointly announced agreement to join the league. Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham have all agreed to join this new competition that will likely see them kicked out of the Champions League, every UEFA competition, every domestic league, and also their players will not be allowed to play in international tournaments. I think the I think every Liverpool fan, or not Liverpool fan, football fan, woke up this morning just extremely disappointed in their own club, especially the big six. That's the focus. Like I think that now, as like the big six fans, like I don't think most of us will support these clubs going into this new Super League bollocks. I don't know what you guys think about it, but just quickly on my thoughts, like if you think of it, like football in England has been, we've championed this pyramid scheme that allows lower league clubs to benefit from the higher clubs that are making all the money, and it keeps many clubs afloat. And now they're just throwing that in the bin for a few quid. They've really let down everyone who loves the game. And I think the biggest thing is, like, during tough times like COVID and just the tough time we've been all going through, everyone really, over the last year or whatever, football has been an escape for everyone. And I think what they've done there last night, and they've really turned people away from the sport, the most popular sport in the world. Every race, religion, country, ethnic background, everyone enjoys the sport. And I think, like, you'll see a lot of people just leave, like stop supporting their clubs, stop watching football because of a few pricks and wanted to make a few extra quid. Charlie, I'll go to you on this. What was your initial reaction when the news broke? Obviously, there was a build up through the day. There was going to be an announcement. When the news actually broke last night and it was confirmed, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, firstly, I was sitting in my front room and I was watching the Arsenal game, and I was just checking Twitter, and Get French Football News, I think it was, tweeted about it. And I read it out to Luke and my dad, and they were just there like, yeah, that's bollocks. And then I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, that's just how many times have we seen that? And then things just seemed to escalate really quickly, and by the end of the day, it had been announced. And it's disgusting, but it's disappointing at the same time as well, because like football, it's meant to unite people, and at the moment it's just tearing people apart. It's one of the most powerful things in the world. Like, for example, during the World War, they didn't stop to play basketball. They didn't stop to play American football. They stopped to play football. Like, that's the power the game has, and it's just been ruined by billionaires who care nothing but money. I think that's the problem with life in general at the moment. Like, it's too based around money rather than like welfare and like quality of life.
Yeah, I completely, like, you just hit the nail on the head. It literally does mirror everyday life. Like, football for a lot of people, like I've said, is escape from everyday life. The struggles people go through, the fact that the powers that be, the people higher up in the pecking order, kind of just shit on us from above and treat us like shit. And now they've taken the one thing that a lot of people kind of, look forward to on the weekends, think about all day, every day. Like, if you think about it, how many times has your day been ruined because your football lost a game, a football club lost a game, or something happened, or there was an injury? Like, I remember when Van Dijk got injured, I was inconsolable for about a week. And now everything I've put into supporting the club, everything I've put into the game has just been shit on by these American owners and that fat prick Perez, who's basically dead anyway. He's dead. He's a vegetable. Fucking Egypt. Anyway, Luke. Now, that's Charlie's thoughts from last night. Since you kind of had a night to sleep on it, waking up this morning, have you come around to the idea, or are you just like absolute bollocks?
No, yeah, as you said, it's absolute bollocks. I mean, all it takes is about 5 minutes of logical thinking to realize that this is absolutely ridiculous. And like, I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, because
Yeah.
like it actually looks like something could be happening at the moment. But like, who thought about this and thought, yeah, this is a good idea? This is literally 20 men, 20 owners against the entire world. Governments are
Yeah.
getting involved. People are coming out saying, we will not let this happen. Who actually thought that this was a good idea? Like, how did they think about this and go, yeah, this will work? It's surely never going to work. It's embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of these, there's so much Americanization going on in the world right now. Like,
Man,
this
don't
is
get me started
football.
on it.
This is football. This is not. This is a European sport. This
Yeah.
is not basketball. We don't want your NBA fucking shite. We don't want trades. We don't want conferences where 10 teams play against each other, then go into a quarterfinal. We just want
The
normal football.
playoffs.
We don't want fucking soccer. We want fucking football the way it was created and the way it's supposed to be, not your absolute shite. So you could kind of fuck off, honestly. It's a joke.
Like, it just goes against everything football stands for, though. Like, if you go back, football was created by working class people, you know, that like, and now it like obviously created by the poor, stolen by the rich is a phrase that's going around, and it's just so true. Like, as you said, these Americans, man, honestly, just stay on your side of the water. Seriously, go away. Nobody actually likes you. Seriously, nobody likes you. We all hate you. We all laugh at you. We all laugh at the fact you can't run your own country. We all laugh at the fact that you're all going around shooting each other. We do not care. Go away and stay on your side of the water. Like, they have to put their noses in everything. They have to ruin everything. And like it's gonna get to a point where it's like your halftime stats sponsored by Gatorade. What the fuck, man? It's already happening. Like what is this over commercialization, over Americanization of the sport? Like, it was coming for ages. I think we can all agree that the foundation of the Premier League and all that was the start of it. But like, that doesn't mean you go off and create this new Super League or whatever. Like, and I think it's what it does. It's just like, on a personal standpoint with my club, like Liverpool United, we half a sport Liverpool here, half a sport United. People from both clubs have died either going to a game or playing for this club, and it's just been fucking tossed in the bin by a few pricks in suits. Like, that's how big it is. Like, people who've gone before that have dedicated their lives to these our football clubs have been just shot on by people who want to make a few quick. Con, I want to bring you in here. Yeah, like, how we are definitely living through history. We're definitely living through a significant moment in time. Even if the Super League doesn't happen, like, how big of an impact will it have on the structure of football and how we view football going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the owners nowadays, they have way too much power. We saw with Chelsea, we see with all the big clubs now, it's all about money. About big owners coming in that they don't have a clue about the game. You could see that even the transfer structure that Liverpool had, the amount of money that they're being given when they're in the middle of a crisis at centre back, and they just got given no money. The owners don't understand the club or the fans or anything about the game. They're literally in there they treat it as a business to make money, that is not how you run a football club at all.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing about the Super League is, you see, it's Liverpool and they're the clubs that agree to it, but it's more the owners that agree to it than the clubs.
Yeah.
But I don't see how anyone that supports any of those teams can say, I still support the club now with that. The only way that we're going to get out of this is if people don't no longer support the club, if they don't go to games, don't buy jerseys and stuff like that, and just don't support the club in any way possible. Like,
you know what the sad
it
thing
is not.
Sorry to cut you off. You know, the sad thing is, these owners, they know we won't do that because they know we love the club too much to do that. We know we won't let them take that away from us, and that's what they're preying on. Like, they're preying on like the fact that we're vulnerable and like we want to go and follow our team all the time, and we won't do that. And they know we'll go to these games. They know we'll watch them, and that's the fucking sad reality. Sorry, go on. What were you saying?
Yeah, and the fact that I think the managers, listen, fair play to Mourinho. I think he's taken a massive step, huge respect for him for just stepping away from it completely. And I hope all the other managers in the top six do, and they should. No one should be staying around to support this at all.
I think you're spot on. Look, Charlie, I saw you talk about it earlier on Twitter. Like when you look around the top six for voices, obviously Mourinho, he didn't have to say anything. He did his talking by walking, basically walking away. And I think, as you said, Charlie, earlier on Twitter, Jurgen Klopp, like the whole footballing world is relying on him now tonight to say something. Because if you look at Jurgen Klopp, obviously he's Liverpool manager. You hate Liverpool, but he's such a respected figure across the globe in football. The man, like he's just such a, like, obviously he's just such an obviously nice person, but like he has the right values, right morals, and he just is for the betterment of the game. And I think we're all relying on him tonight. But on the Mourinho thing, there are rumors that he walked, that he didn't get sacked, but he just walked. He refused to train the players, so then he got sacked. And apparently that's a rumor, but I think it's true, because why would you sack your manager right now before a League Cup final? It would be a bit odd. So that rumor is definitely true. But Charlie, this is getting deep now, right? Like, are you going to stop watching Manchester United?
Like, I don't think I'd be able to not watch a United match if it was on. Like, that's just
the thing, man.
just like, that's what comes with being a football supporter, really. Like, you can't really miss one of your team's games. I think it's the league they're proposing is essentially just glorified friendlies midweek.
Yeah.
If we're being like, what's the point in the Premier League now if you don't win it? You're just pissing around in mid-table, because you don't have to qualify for this. Just 15 teams stay in it. You can't get relegated. Like, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. The same games every year. That's not what anyone wants.
Oh man, no.
Every week. If you're playing a game every week against high quality opposition, it's no longer a big game. Like, you're waiting all year round for United Liverpool. You're not just going to get like United City, United Liverpool, United Chelsea, and now you're just going to be getting that every week. It just takes away the value with the actual big games, and it's just an all-round waste of time. But if they know that those games generate the most money, so obviously that's what they're going to go after.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Like, the fact is, Liverpool haven't played Juventus since 2005. When we playing them every second weekend, like the whole point about United Liverpool, the whole point is to build up. And you know that if you lose this, you have to bear with them. You have to with it for months and months before you can play them again. And if you lose them again, it's bear like another year or whatever. So like that's the whole point of a big game. Anticipation, build up the nerves, and like it's going to be like Liverpool play Real Madrid this week, and they play Barcelona next week. Like that's, and people go, oh, they'll be able to have like that'll be big European nights every week. No, the whole point of a European night, and how special is because it's so rare and it only happens once or twice a year of a season. That's why it's so special. Luke, on this kind of like, I'm just looking at the structure of it now. Like if you look at Arsenal, for example, they're going to come bottom of their group or their division like every year, and they won't get relegated. Like obviously Liverpool United, they have ambitions. They will be up. They will qualify for the quarters, whatever it is, in the playoffs. They'll probably call it breaks. Like if you're looking at clubs that are slightly worse than the rest, like AC Man City, like for them fans, there's nothing to look forward to for the whole season.
Well, you're going on about Arsenal. I mean, let's just talk about Tottenham for a second.
Oh God, I forgot. How are they in it, man? How are they in it? Like
they're called a Big Six club, but they haven't won anything in what
13 years.
I say. Yeah. So like they're literally in because of their name. I mean, you would argue. In fact, you wouldn't argue. You would say it's the fact that Leicester are currently in the league 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, why are we not saying that Leicester are a Big Six club? Spurs are literally in there because somebody somewhere said, yeah, you're a Big Six club. But are they? No, they're not. Now, I'm just going to bring it back to a United perspective because you could be surprised at a lot of things, but one thing I'm not surprised about is this, because this Glazer ownership is a cancer upon the club. It's disgraceful. the biggest money-sucking institution I've ever seen in my life. And Ed Woodward, that spineless prick, is literally just a Glazer puppet to go and get
Bottle
them as
job.
much money as
Bottle
possible.
job.
It's
He's a bottler.
disgraceful. Honestly, they've literally gone and thrown our history in the bin. The Premier League
Yeah.
into some stupid league. I don't even know what the point of it is. You can come last and you're just like, yeah, don't really care.
Yeah, like,
It's ridiculous. It's fucking embarrassing. These Glazers,
Yeah.
I hope the fans unite now and realise that they need to go, because it's fucking disgraceful. And we've been putting up with it for way too long. They need to leave. It's criminal what they're doing. They're taking money out of the club. They're not investing anything in it. And now they're using the club to get as much money as they can. These billionaires, they don't give a shit about football. They have billions of pounds. And you know what you do when you're rich? You invest your money to try and make even more of it. They couldn't give a shit about football. They haven't been to any games in years. They haven't invested any of their own money into the club. They're using the club to get richer, and they don't actually need the money. It's embarrassing. And it has to be stopped.
Yeah.
Can I just come in on that? I'd like to point out that what they're doing is essentially illegal, because they're just colluding and forming a cartel and just making football. They're making football an oligopoly, realistically. It's anti-competitive. The teams at the top stay at the top. There's no way forward for the teams like mid-table teams, like let's say Crystal Palace, even Everton, who were on the way up. There's no way up for them, because all the money is at the top, and it will stay at the top for as long as this is implemented. So regulation is needed, and Gary Neville, and they've just announced that they basically booted Robbie Fowler off Monday Night Football, and Gary Neville and Carragher, they're now on screen from 7 o'clock. So that'll be an interesting watch. And as you said, Klopp needs to say something as well, because
we need big.
If he doesn't say anything, I'm not going to lie, my respect for him will go down greatly, because
100%.
He's a great football man, and we need him.
Yeah, like
the owners are essentially using the football clubs as a stock market. If I invest in this football club, I can make more money out of it. It's ridiculous.
And what they're doing is, you know what the thing is though, and what people don't understand is, like, the argument for football is going this way anyway, blah 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 blah. They're literally preying on people's emotions and people's lives. Like, this is the problem with our society. It's like, well, money makes the world go around, whether you like it or not. No, you have to put it. The book has to stop at some point, and it's absolutely fucking ridiculous on us as well. Connor, I want to go to you on this, because I know you'll have an opinion on it. The Hillsborough commemoration was, I think, less than a week ago, right? But less than a week later, they announced this thing that shits on them. Like, oh yeah, fuck you. We don't care about our history. We don't care. We don't care. You literally sacrifice your life to go watch us play. We don't care. No, it doesn't matter. It's disgusting. And I swear to God, that Henry guy, if he doesn't get locked up, I can't say that one. If I want that Henry guy locked up, I want him locked up. Seriously, Glazed, they need to be put in prison, because it's what they're doing actually is criminal. Like, it's illegal. Like, it's horrible what they're doing. Connor, just bringing you on this, like, from a Liverpool perspective, and like your view, like, if you look at the history of Liverpool, Shankly was I'm not before anyone says I'm not a socialist, but he had a socialist ideology, and I think the city of Liverpool have that sort of ideology of kind of a community and helping each other. Like, this just goes against everything that we stand for as a club. Like, how do you think the people of Liverpool will react? Liverpool fans in Liverpool especially will react to this if it does go through. Like, we're looking at riots, protests, like, and you don't blame them.
You know, you're spot on there. What you said, I would have said the same myself there. Like, you can tell that, like, it is a community, like, they're a working class area. They all sort of work together, support each other. Everyone's, like, really invested in the club there. Even there's Everton fans there, but they're big, like, into the football there. And I just think at the moment, I don't see how any, like, the Liverpool fans, like, they won't be happy with the decision at all. And I expect there to be protests there. I think Jurgen Klopp tonight, if, like, he has to say something. mean, the only reason why he wouldn't is because he'd be afraid of getting sacked. But do you know what? I
He
I
won't
wouldn't really
care.
care.
Yeah,
I don't really care, to be honest.
yeah,
If he gets sacked, because like if he's speaking out, and he's standing up for football in general, like I don't care if he gets sacked. Like fair play to him for actually standing up to the people at the top and not just sort of going along with what they want.
yeah. Just we. So
Very,
yeah, Fabrizio linked us with some information. Apparently, Jose was sacked due to results, and Fabrizio Romano said that he didn't refuse to train. It was just purely results based. Am I right? Yeah. So, first off, bollocks. That's bollocks. Why would you sack him before a league cup final? Their first final in how long? Like, and you know what's actually weird about it? So like, fuck Tom, honestly. Big up Mourinho for doing it. But like, yeah, just on tonight then, like obviously looking to it Monday night fight. I think one aspect I want to move on to now, right, is that so Gary Neville spoke out about it, right? And one of the things that annoyed me saying, "Oh, look at Gary Neville who worked for Sky Sports sitting on his high horse." Now, I do agree with that. Sky Sports did try to charge us 50 Sheffield, which is disgusting. But like, I don't think that like discredits his opinion. Like, it's not his fault he wants a job and wants to work in football. You want to work football in England, you kind of have to work for Sky or BT. So like, and you're going to work for Sky obviously if you're offered it. So I think that's unfair to say. But just on what Gary Neville said, like if this decides that doesn't happen, and we're talking about punishment, I would be fully backing us to be kicked out down to the conference or wherever. Huge transfer embargoes, huge fines, strip us of the titles. Fuck it, because they don't mean anything to the owner. So why would they get upset about it? Charlie, I want you. Like, do you think that's a fair punishment? Do you think it's too harsh? Like, if you were the Premier League right now in the FA, like, what sort of punishment would you be looking at? Would you just go full on extreme in it, or you just go look, slap them on the wrist?
It's a difficult one because even though these clubs, they've obviously made a mistake, but it's obvious that they do generate the most revenue for the Premier League. Like people pay to watch United beat Liverpool. They don't necessarily pay to watch, let's say,
Burnley.
Fulham versus Burnley. Like you're not going to generate as much money as that. But I think fines are definitely necessary. Dropping them down divisions, I wouldn't really support that, to be honest. Like that's wasting players' careers. And they'll come back up. Like we saw with Rangers, they've come back up. They've won the division after a cut. Like it won't really solve anything long term. They will regain their wealth and they'll just start all over again. It may take a decade, but we'll just face the same problems as we're facing now.
Yeah.
So and then also it'll just lead to more clubs becoming rich. Like if the big six go down, Leicester, they're gonna take all that wealth. They're gonna build themselves up as probably the dominant force in England, along with Everton. So then you'll just have even more trouble really when those big six do come back up. You'll have like 10 or 11 clubs in that wealthy situation rather than the six we have at the moment. So it's just going to lead to more problems further down the line. But if we can impose some sort of regulation, and I think they need to be banned from transfers now. There's no way they should be allowed trade in the current environment. They're obviously too wealthy. So I think, there's no excuses for what they've done. It's appalling, really, and it's a criminal act. And I think every single one of them should be relieved of their duties somehow. I think the fans need to regain control of their football.
That's what I want to move on to. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you're about to say it. In Germany now, all German clubs rejected it. Now I think what's going to happen is the problem is with any motion like that has to go through an AGM, and every German club. And I'm not sure about Leipzig, but I think the majority of German clubs are majority fan owned, so the 50+1 rule, meaning that fans own 51%. So that have to go through an AGM, and fans would have to reject it or accept it. I think, and there's been talking in the British media that Johnson wants to do that, Boris Johnson. I'm completely for that, because what it will do is it will stop like owners doing this and doing whatever they want with our club without anyone stopping them. And like, think about how mad that is. we've only clocked it now that like literally they can do anything they want. Our owners can do anything they want, and no one will stop them. Which is the word. That's the frightening thing. So I think what the 50+1 rule needs to happen, and then regulations. Like I think Gary Neville mentioned it, Luke, the independent body, like they're talking about. Gary Neville was talking about to regulate these clubs. Like, do you think that this could be a move maybe to force like these owners to sell, and then maybe fans retake control?
Yeah, and it should be implemented because these guys are in it for the money. They're taking the money out of the club.
Yeah,
They're essentially stealing from the football club to pocket the money for themselves, and it should be illegal. I don't know how they haven't been called up on it yet, but something needs to be done to stop it. Like I think Charlie was talking about dropping down divisions. I agree with him on that. I don't think you could do that, but I certainly think all these clubs, they need to be banned from Europe, because what they've done, they've undermined the Champions League. They've just gone, yeah, right, we're not taking part in this anymore. They've left the European Commission, so they're essentially saying, yeah, we're done with it. So they need to be told, right, you're not allowed in Europe, then you're not playing in this competition for next year, maybe even the year after that. I mean, you can't just undermine a competition and then come crawling back in case something doesn't work. I mean, I think Florentino Perez has a lot to do with this.
He's a fucking little snake.
He influences Ballon d'Or votes every year. I think you could see that when Ronaldo left Real Madrid. He basically made sure Modric won it. Now, his influence is way too big on the world of football. I mean, Real Madrid, when they did the three-peat, the Champions League was fine. But as soon as they stopped winning it for a few years, and there's rumours that they can't afford Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, what do? They decide, right, we need a bit more money. Let's create this European Super League and get all the other clubs to become involved. And of course, Joe Glazer and the Liverpool owners, the money fucking laundering bastards, just decide, yeah, we're hopping on this idea just so we can get a few more dollars in our fucking pocket. It's disgraceful.
And that Perez prick, man. And like, you know what? I was going to say this, I completely forgot. Connor, like, we can look at City and Chelsea for joining it, but like at the end of the day, they kind of have no choice. It's more the Liverpool, United, and Arsenal, the three pillars, the three biggest clubs in the country that have just absolutely just destroyed us all, and just like show us in front of everyone. They've just our clubs. Yeah, Arsenal, United, and Liverpool. I'm talking about, like, these are the three biggest clubs in England with the best history, and what they've done is they've just said, nah, fuck you, fuck everyone, we're doing our own thing. Like, I just is this forgivable? Like, will we ever forgive them for this?
I think it'll be hard to, like, it's completely embarrassing, like, what they've done. They've completely undermined, like, the whole, like, what football is built around. I mean, I think a lot of what I was going to say, like, it's kind of already been said really by the rest of you. But like, you'd think that the amount of power that the owners have, that they can just, if a couple of them literally at the top of each club can just agree the club's future and completely get rid of like every bit of history they have just to make more money. Like, it just shows that, like, how commercialized and Americanized football's becoming, and like, it needs to be stopped. There's no other way about it.
Just quickly, more breaking news. Ander Herrera, PSG player, former United player, was released a statement saying, "I fell in love with popular football." I think this is a direct translation from Spanish. So this is a brief one. "I fell in love with football, with popular football." Okay, I don't know what that means. With amateur football, the European Super League killed the ordinary football fan. This kills the fans of the smaller clubs to be able to compete against the biggest club in the world. The people who've tried to translate that, terrible job. But
Steve, I was about to give you credit for translating that yourself, but
yeah, no, I'm not fluent.
Never mind.
Yeah, I might actually get fluent in Italian and sport Napoli. I'll have to. But yeah, I think that's huge. We just talked about that for a second. That is massive, because what we needed was, I know Dejan Lopez spoke out about it, but obviously he plays for Zenit, and like, fair play for him to do it, but it doesn't really hold any weight because he's not playing for one of these big clubs. PSG have rejected it, and Ander Herrera now, the PSG player, has come out and said it, like, Do you think we need to see more of this? And you think this is the start of something? We just needed someone to say it. And Charlie, before Messi and Ronaldo, the two biggest names in sport, are we kind of maybe should be counted on them to say something because they're the biggest names? That's like LeBron and Curry, Steph Curry saying something about like. Do you think we're looking at them to do it, or it's just any player? I don't know, all the big players really.
I think it needs to start with maybe the bigger players, but it needs to go through to all of them. And at the end, like these are all extremely wealthy men already. Like if I'm a millionaire, how much more money do I realistically need? Like thinking from a perspective point of view, like if you have like 10 million quid, you can buy anything you want. Like there's very little you can't buy, and it'll last you a very long time. And people are saying, yeah, they'll add a zero to their salary, but do they need it? Like, they 100% don't need it. These are like, and we're talking. It's only for the people at the top club. These are getting paid top dollar already. Like they're already multi-millionaires. Messi and Ronaldo probably billionaires, if we're being honest. So like, they don't need this, and they need to speak out against it. But
yes,
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, because most players are in it for the money these days, if we're being honest.
And that's just a sad thing. And like, obviously UEFA have announced their reform of the Champions League, and that's what I don't know if I probably have to touch on it, but this is the next thing I want to go to you, Luke, on it. Now, I think it's clear that this is actually UEFA and FIFA's fault in the first place, because what happened was they were not running the show properly according to these big clubs, and they've decided, you know what, fuck yous, you're not regulating money, you're not regulating spending, we're going to create our own thing. So UEFA created this new Super League. I mean, not Super League, sorry, this new Champions League, where it's going to be a different format, more teams. Is this just really just a case of billionaires be billionaires who don't care about the sport, and they're just picking sides for their own financial gain?
I mean, yeah, I think we all agreed football needed change, because UEFA and FIFA, I mean, it's widely known that they're two corrupt organisations, but they didn't need this sort of change. This is just turning football into a monopoly, and it's disgraceful. But I think it just sums it up what UEFA have done today. They've gone, oh, we'll make the Champions League a 36-team competition. I mean, that's clearly just saying, right, more games means more money. The teams clearly want more money, so we'll just add more teams to the competition, and that'll get them the more money thereafter. But this shouldn't be the type of football, the change in football we should be after. I mean, if any player, like Ander Herrera, he plays for PSG, they're not taking part in the Super League. Any player involved in one of those clubs that is taking part in this Super League, they need to, if they love football, they need to speak out right now. And the players just need to boycott it. This is not right. This could change football forever and make it a completely dead sport. People might go and start playing, I don't know, cricket or something instead. But
water polo, I've been looking into it.
Everyone needs to do something. The government's getting involved, but fans, this is basically like your girlfriend cheating on you, and you're just saying, right, I'll come back. Don't buy jerseys. Don't watch matches. Don't buy jerseys. Don't even buy fake fucking jerseys. Don't even be associated with that scandalous club.
Yeah.
Basically stabbing you in the back. They don't care about you. They're just trying to get money off you, and it's embarrassing.
That's the like, honestly, that's well said. Like, I think now, if you're for the Super League, go ahead. That's your opinion. Say UV football. That's your, like, I can't say no. I can't say you're wrong, because that's your opinion. But every football fan now, right, tweeting your outrage now and everything, follow it up with actual action. Don't go to games. Don't buy jerseys. Don't watch matches. You know, don't, if whoever's running the show in terms of TV rights, don't buy it. Don't do anything like that. And at the end of the day, yeah, you might want to watch your football team play, like we all do, but it is bigger than your own club. It is bigger than your own interests. This is the game that people have fought for hundreds of years. And yeah, I think you said it perfectly. Just don't buy merchandise. Don't do any of that shit. Just literally don't even associate yourself with your club anymore. This is more towards the big six. Connor, on it now, like, is there just no turning back now? Like, is this actually, do you just see this happening? Like, do you think there's any way they can go back now? Because FIFA and UEFA, like, if they turn their back, if they kind of allow them back in and to their conversations, like they do kind of look soft. Like if they actually want to ban them permanently and actually give them proper punishment, like they need to do it properly. And if they just allow them back in, like I don't think it'd be worth the big clubs to actually come back and say, do you think that this is just irreversible? Like this is it.
Well, I think it deserves to be, but we've seen UEFA's history in the past of dealing even with financial fair play and just being soft and letting teams off. I'd agree. Like I think the big teams that have gone off and said I want to join that, like I think they should be severely punished for coming back in, and I don't think they should be allowed back in for a number of years, and they need change in the club in terms of like ownership. I think they need to become fan base before they're actually allowed back in. I mean, I like just for like the owners to go off and say, I want to join this league to make more money, and then for that to collapse, and then for them to come crying back to UEFA.
Yeah,
like
it
shouldn't be allowed. And I hope UEFA do stand up if it does happen. I saw Gary Neville; he doesn't think the Super League will go ahead in the end. I think if players and managers and fans are all against it, I mean, it can't go ahead then. But it's like us as fans, the managers and the players, like you have to stand up to it and refuse to take part in it. That's the only way it's gonna change going forward. And I think the owners, especially the big clubs, as I said, they need to follow Germany's lead of what they're doing about the ownership with having fans involved. So, I mean, the fans know more about the club and care more about the club than the owners do.
Yeah, like I think just to wrap it up then, like Charlie, what do you think you'll see unfolding for the next like coming weeks and months? Because the Euros are this month or this summer, so things are going to have to happen quickly. They're planning to start the Super League next season. Like, what you see happening going forward?
Anything could happen, really. I mean, I didn't think this was going to happen, but it seems to have happened overnight. Obviously, they haven't fully gone through with it yet, but I think it will be stopped eventually, some way or another. But more breaking news. This is very negative. UEFA haven't kicked them out of the Champions League and the Europa League. They're going to continue the competition. So United are playing in the Europa League, and City and the like are still in the Champions League. Now that's just bottling from UEFA. They need to be thrown out. The PSG need to be awarded the Champions League. I don't know who should be awarded the Europa League. Ajax and Roma can play in the final, or whoever.
Villarreal,
Villarreal. That's just completely bottling the situation. They don't care about the competition. They don't want to be in it. They need to be kicked from it. And like, from a United point of view, this was Ollie's first chance to win a trophy, and the Glazers have just completely shown that they don't care about it. They'd rather just risk getting booted from a competition and losing a trophy just to earn more money, and it's disgraceful.
If UEFA bottle this, I'm literally going to lose my fucking shit. They should be like, how have they not been kicked yet, man? You don't. Like, they're ruining the game and you're not even kicking them. You stupid idiots. It just makes you look worse. Like, it's bottling. Like, you're just bottling it, man. They're such bottlers. Why are people at the top such absolute spineless bottlers? Like, grow a fucking pair of balls, man. Like, grow a pair, you absolute fucking invertebrate fucking pricks. Like, Luke, on that then, like what Charlie just said there, this just kind of just really highlights the power these big clubs have. Because UEFA know without these big clubs, they're worthless. They don't have any kind of, a lot of their wealth is gone. Like, for me, in my opinion, UEFA and FIFA and FA don't have as much leverage as they're making out to be.
Make them hundreds of millions in revenue. So they've decided, right, we can't go without that. We need the money. So everything is revolving around money at the moment. Their own self-interest. And it's just a really sad day, really. And it needs to be stopped.
So, Connor, I'll go to you then. Who's your new football? Oh, actually, I can see your new team, Norwich. Is that who you're going with?
No. I just had a Norwich jersey. I can't be wearing a Liverpool jersey anymore. To be honest with you, I don't know. I might just look for more local League of Ireland, maybe. Bray Wanderers, maybe.
Yeah, Bray Wanderers,
You know,
they need us. They need us. They
might
started
have to.
losing. Yeah, they started losing every time we stopped going to their games. I think that's a sign.
They did, yeah. But
Yeah, I think
yeah, no, I don't know.
we've covered a lot of it. Like, I think just to wrap it up, right? I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go and ask people what new clubs are. If you want to know my new club, I'm considering moving to Napoli. Talks are ongoing with myself, but I think just to wrap it up on a serious note, like we really are kind of like we are on the verge of the game we grew up watching, like grew up playing, grew up loving. Basically, it just like literally disintegrating into nothing. Just for a few, as I've said multiple times, for a few people to get millions and billions. And I think what now is like a lot of people's lives are going to be destroyed. A lot of people will not want to watch the games. And I think a lot of people will actually have a gap, a void to fill in their lives. Like a lot of people kind of like revolve their week around either going to a game, obviously not in COVID time, but either watching the game and watching their team play. So maybe people like maybe Arsenal fans will be a bit more happy, and Tottenham fans, they don't have to put up with the misery. But like on a serious note, like I think we are definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
I just come in on that point about the Arsenal and Tottenham thing?
Yeah.
It's like having Italy in the rugby. They finish bottom every year, and there's no relegation, and it's just shit for the game.
Yeah, that's so well.
And there's no promotion or relegation at all.
Yeah,
it's literally like Tottenham and Arsenal are literally Italy of the Super League.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, 100%. But yeah, this is probably the darkest podcast we'll ever do. Hopefully, we can in the coming weeks and months we can say it was we can look back in relief. But if there is a higher being out there, please stop this from happening. I'm praying it doesn't happen. But yeah, definitely a dark day for football. But thanks for watching, everyone. Share it around. Let us know your thoughts on it. If you support it, let us know. If you're obviously against it, then let us know too. But yeah, share it around with your mates. Subscribe. Get us to 200 subs. Yeah, thanks for watching.